Sorry, part 2 for Jack.
What's scoliosis?
Scoliosis is curvature of the spine.
Oh, okay.
So there's 3 different types. There's sort of like a lordosis, a kyphosis as well. So it depends where the curve is and which direction it's going. But you know, some of our stuff in Kinesi Foundations where we, you know, do all the gates, that's where we're going next.
Right. Okay. Schumann's disease would be a type of scoliosis.
Yeah, right. Probably. But most of it is emotional.
Right.
Most of it. You know?
Same with everything.
We can blame it on genes, we can blame it on all sorts of stuff, but you can imagine what it is. It's our gait going, I want to be out that door.
Right.
And our physical structure just starts doing it. So relaxing. Okay, so there's a little right-sided gait here, which means the right side from the hip down is more tense than the left side. Let's check the arm length. Fingers outstretched. Okay, and the tension's on the left side. So we've got a tense left side and a tense right side, which is fight. No, that's flight. So it's like you're, you know, it's that energetically out the door, wanting to run away, sort of feeling the body just isn't, you know, calm and safe and grounded within its skin. Let's check the arms and legs individually. Hold, hold, hold up, hold up, good. So left arm, right leg, hold up. Right arm, left leg, hold up. So they're the escape ones. They're locking, which means that they're possibly in second stage stress. They're overly working, but, you know, well, we'll sort of see. And now same side, so right arm, right leg, hold. There goes the leg. Left arm, left leg. Okay, so the right arm, right leg, hold. So that leg, that's about fight. So fight is the same leg, same arm. So energetically, his body's in fight as well as being in flight. So he's in a bit of both, but there's exhaustion with the fight mechanism. So that's something going on in that brain, you know, that is just not feeling safe and grounded and secure in the skin he's in.
Poor little fella.
Yeah, oh, it's awful. Okay, so where do we need to go with this? So do I need more structural stuff? Do I need to get into some of the survival stuff? So I'm going to get into some of the survival stuff now. So let's go see whether it's survival, deep survival, or hidden deep survival. Hold. Survival's okay. Deep survival, hold. That one's okay. Hidden deep survival. That one's okay. Is there psychological reversal? Is there celestial circuit? Celestial circuit, okay. Tongue behind the teeth, tongue on the roof of the mouth, tongue as far back on the roof as you can go. And relax, hold. Okay, so it's either first or third stage stress. And hold. Okay, so the celestial circuit's in first stage stress. Is it the masculine side? Is it the feminine side? So which isn't really about masculine and feminine. The feminine's the caring side, the masculine's doing side. It's the masculine that's exhausted. And as a young man, you know, when we're getting into those teenage years, hormones are really whipping around in our bodies and doing all sorts of fun things. The brain doesn't really finish growing until 25 to 30 years old for men. You know, it keeps growing and building new neuronal pathways. But the hormones really change the way that the brain functions. Have you looked much into the neurology of teenagers?
Yeah.
You know what go? Yeah, I thought you would have. David's a holistic counsellor. So we're just trying to bring the cells back into balance and get the connection between the conscious and unconscious meridians back up and running. So at the moment they're not communicating as well as they could be, and it's way too easy for the body to go into stress and not get out. Okay. Let's just recheck this little, so right and right again, and hold up for me. Ah, beautiful. So we've got that fight on the right back up and running now. So again, is there anything else we need to do with this celestial circuit? Do we need to go into survival stuff? Do we have psychological reversal? Okay, so psychological reversal in relation to the celestial circuit, psychological relation in relation to what's going on. Okay, so just generally in the body, in relation to any and all psychological reversal that we need in circuit. Okay, so want, need, think, safe, believe, deserve, trust. So there's a safety issue here. It is safe to let go of this problem and hold. Okay.
They weren't real holds, were they?
No, hold. Yeah, so safety, it is safe to let go of this problem as in third stage stress. So that's chronic fatigue or chronic exhaustion about not feeling safe in the skin you're in. So it was just that, and it's third stage stress. So now do we need to do celestial circuit, survival switching, deep survival switching, hidden deep survival. So hidden deep survival. And hold. Yeah, okay. So there's the survival stuff. So we needed to have the psychological reversal in relation to finding that survival pattern. No, it wasn't real great. And the survival stuff can affect absolutely everything. You know, that's sort of the scary thing about having these survival patterns whizzing through our body. So basically it's the sensory input. So the nervous system gets to the spot where it does not want any more sensory input. So it's like every time we get given a task, we don't like it, we're feeling bullied. Every time, you know, we're having an issue with our teachers, we feel like, no, I'm not going to do that. Or we feel like we're just being, you know, having to do stuff all of the time and we're not getting anything out of it. So the deep survival pattern is when the unconscious brain has said life is going to be stressful forever, and you can imagine what emotional context that puts on everything all day, every day.
An example of that is kids who are neurodiverse.
Yes.
They get called to attention or to change 20 times more than other kids. So when you've often a health problem, you're often getting directed more often than the other kids. So
Yeah, totally. Hold out. So
it's
this
not
one,
anybody's fault, it's just the way it is.
yeah. No, and the brains need reprogramming. So there's orbitofrontal cortex. So this is a little part of the unconscious brain that's to do with conflict. So there's conflict in the brain all the time. So everything's harder. It's like, will I, won't I, should I, shouldn't I? Will I tell the truth? What if I hurt him? You know, so the brain is in this constant conflict where it's trying to measure out information like all day, every day. What will I say? What won't I say? How will I respond? What will I respond with? You know, so it's doing this like in a constant little thing, but it's exhausting. It's exhausting for the brain. And with the sugar cravings, the brain uses something like 20% of the glucose production in the entire body. So our brain actually needs some sugar, but if obviously wrong types of sugar deteriorate the brain function, can lead to inflammation, which can shut down lots of pathways in the brain. I remember years ago, one of my prackies at one of my big clinics I had, he had a couple come in with their son, and they were saying that he was having real problems at school and his handwriting was crap. And anyway, so he got him to do some handwriting, and it wasn't too bad, but it was about 3 hours after lunch. So the more he delved, the more he thought, I think this is a sugar thing. So he got them to go across the road, get something sugary for the son, and then got him to write, and his handwriting was like 10 times worse within minutes of having something sweet. So it really can create neurological disruption, you know, when we are having too much sweets, too much sugar. But the craving is real, you know, it's something that is, you know, it's absolutely real. But it's about finding alternates that are yummy, that are healthy, that actually balance blood sugar, you know, so that you can start getting things in. You know, for example, I make things like, and you know, everyone's different of course, but I make cheese cookies, and you know, I'll make them with you know, macadamia and cheese and egg and, you know, pretty much nothing else, so that it's a ketogenic, and then put some paprika or something in there and some salt, but do that so that it's a yummy, high protein, high fat snack that helps to regulate blood sugar. You know, you do the same thing with white flour with a bit of cheese, and it's not the same. You'll get an insulin spike, maybe not as much as normal, but, you know, it's sort of, it's about finding some recipes that are yummy, that help to balance blood sugar.
Have berries because they've got high fibre and they slow down the sugar spike.
Yeah, some berries are really great for that. Have you researched which ones are the highest, or is it just any berries in your...
Well, raspberries and blackberries, I got the lowest sugar.
Yeah.
But also strawberries and blueberries are good.
Right.
But all the berries are good.
Yeah. So I'm in the
and
reticular...
They're sweet, do you know what I mean? They're not as sweet as normal fruit.
Yeah.
But they're high in fibre.
I'm in the reticular activating system now, which is controlling what hormones are being released under stress. And this is telling me that there's low serotonin. So the serotonin production gets shut down, and we make most of that in the small intestines. So when under stress, serotonin's really low. And what that low serotonin does is increases the body's need to focus on things that could go wrong. So it can make us quite negative and vigilant because we're only focusing on stuff. Yeah, it can make us paranoid. It can make us focus on stuff that really is not based on reality a lot of the time. You know, we're sort of seeing this much but extrapolating it into the, you know, into a big trauma. And yeah, and being 11, you know, there's so much being taught at schools these days, which is not positive for little brains to hear, especially when it's being extrapolated into things that may or may not ever come true. There's a lot of that going on. Okay. So let's go have a look. Is there more with the PVSS? Yes, there is. The periventricular survival system. This is where our deep hidden survival pattern is. There's another reticular activating circuit. Okay. So this time there's acetylcholine showing up, and acetylcholine, it's like a triple shot of coffee. So it's like that anxiety that's going on in the background. So it's creating vigilance in the nervous system. So the poor little nervous system, it's like it's constantly switched on for stress, and it's not getting a break. Yeah, so I don't know if you've got a local health store or something, but if you've got brands like Orthoplex or Metagenics, let me know and I'll be able to recommend a couple of supplements. I just, you know, or if you've got a practitioner that you can pick stuff up from, you know, let me know and we can, you know, find something that, you know, because immediately there's things like Angioton, which are really amazing, really beautiful combination of herbs and nutrients that calm anxiety in the brain. Things like Inflamood is a combination of activated turmeric, which helps to settle inflammation, but the saffron has a really powerful antidepressant, anti-anxiety effect.
Amazing herb, I've taken it.
Amazing, yeah, it's really, some people just respond beautifully to it. So, you know, there's some really nice options. Yeah, that was blowing the base chakra. Yeah, right, there's still another RAS circuit. which means that the body's got this vigilance going all the time, and it's really affecting lots of hormones. So again, so serotonin, so now we've got noradrenaline going. And what noradrenaline can do is send the stress hormones away from the heart. And it does it, quite deliberately. Oh, I need to amygdalarize that one. Yeah, so the noradrenaline is making the body again be in escape submission free. So it's really hard to be present when we've got all of these things going on. We've got the acetylcholine, which is like a triple shot of coffee. We've got the serotonin being switched down, so because the brain doesn't want to be relaxed and happy, so the tiger doesn't pounce, or or you're aware if the tiger pounces. And now noradrenaline, which is the hormone that our body gets into with chronic stress and chronic inflammation. So it basically keeps that noradrenaline whizzing away in the background all the time, so that we're constantly aware of what could go wrong. Beautiful. Okay. Okay, so do we need another RAS circuit? We do. Oh, okay, we need some structural stuff online. So firstly, I'm going to get you to tighten your feet just for a few seconds. Tight, 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 and relax. And now tighten your legs. Tight, 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 and relax. Now tighten your lower back and your butt. Tight, 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 and relax. Now tighten your spine, so your back, beautiful, and relax. Now tighten your shoulders, and relax. And now your neck, tight, 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 and relax. Okay.
Don't forget jaw.
Oh yeah, and the jaw, and relax. Very good. Feels good, doesn't it? Okay.
Consecutive muscle.
Do we need more musculature online for this RAS circuit? So we're happy? Okay. So let's go. So something about the reticular activating system, which controls the hormones when we're under stress, is messing with the way that the musculature is working, so that toxins and stress hormones are staying in the muscles. So let's go and have a look at the RAS again. Okay, so it's another serotonin. So a lack of serotonin, because, it's hardly, okay, is it too much serotonin? Is it lack? Yeah. So it's a lack of serotonin is making the muscles more tight than they should be, which is then going to twist the pelvis or, move the shoulders, or basically it's going to make the body be in this constant little state of tension in there.
What makes serotonin?
The gut. Yeah, so the gut makes 95% serotonin. It's probably a bacterial thing or a thing to do with the microbiome, would be my guess. Like just yesterday, I was listening to someone talking about the fact that one of the ways that ivermectin works is it increases the bifidobacteria in the gut, which is sort of interesting. Anyway, it's just interesting. So different things work in different ways. So we've got low serotonin, blowing the base chakra. Okay, so it's more the base chakra we need to reconnect again here. So when the base chakra is down, it's often because we're just not getting that downtime so that our body fully feels grounded and secure. It can be things like, swimming in the ocean, or going for mountain walks, or getting out and just sitting on the grass.
Do those things produce serotonin as well?
Well, they definitely, by balancing your ions, you're going to get a change in things like that. And I did see, it was even on mainstream TV about 10 years ago, there was a rainforest doctor. And basically he was talking about the microbiome we get from the forest and how beneficial it is inside our body. So when we're walking through a forest and we're breathing in everything, it's changing our microbiome in our bodies to have less lots of stuff. Less bad stuff, more good stuff. So rainforest bathing is being done around the world for lots of health conditions. Beautiful. So again, is there another RAS circuit in relation to the musculature? No, good, okay. So is there any more in the PVSS? So I'm ready to move on, good, good, good. Let's check what the gates are looking like now. So we had a tight right gate before, so just relaxing. Okay, that's pretty even now. So that's moved. So the whole pelvis is now moving more evenly on both sides instead of being too tight on the right side. Fingers outstretched. Not quite, but it's pretty darn close. So it's out by about maybe 1/2 centimetre. So it was out by about 1 inch before. So that's great. Oh, did you need something under your knees? How's your lower back going? Cool. Another improvement. Okay. So do we need more structure online? We do. Okay, so where do we need? Oh, okay. So we might need the femur bones online. Hold. That's good. Hold. Ah, that one. Okay, so the left femur bone is a bit looser than the right. Now I'm going to check these little guys, the pec minors. Hold. And you know, this is a lot of teenagers have this because it's not easy being a teenager. Both of these muscles want to stay nice and tight, which is about protection. Protection of ourselves, protection of our family, protection of the planet, depending on what our energy, you know, where our energy is going. So these little guys don't want to stretch because stretching these muscles in here means we're open to the world. You know, we want to protect ourselves when these ones are, and yeah, neither of them were fantastic. So let's get this femur bone. Just tweak that one, even though it was the other one that was a big definite unlock. And with these shoulders, it's such a nice stretch, this one. Breathe in, breathe out and lift towards my hand. And breathe in and relax. Breathe out and lift. And breathe in and relax. Breathe out and lift. And breathe in, breathe out and lift. And breathe in, breathe out and lift. And breathe in, breathe out and lift. Okay, let's recheck. And hold. Beautiful. Okay. So now let's go see what we need to do next. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of left-right brain integration now. Is there anything we need to do before that? Do we need to recheck the psychological reversal? Yes, we can. So let's just check from the start. Want, need, think, safe, believe, deserve, trust. So none of them are showing up now, so we'll recheck that safety. It is safe to let go of this problem. And hold. Yeah, beautiful. It is safer to keep this problem. And hold. Yeah, good. So that's nice and balanced now. The safety's back to normal with all those reticular activating circuits, I think. So now we're going to start connecting some of the left-right hemispheres of the brain. Actually, with the stress stuff online, is it worth checking organs yet? No. Okay, so we can do that later? Okay, we can do that later. So let's check the left and right connections for the corpus callosum. And hold out. No. So the corpus callosum is the white matter between the left and right hemispheres of the brain. And there's fear, threat, danger that's stopping the connection. So sometimes the brain will deliberately shut down an area of the brain when it feels like it's under stress. So if we're under stress, the last thing the brain wants is for us to go and, you know, if there's a tiger in the room, doing a list of the positives and negatives about being eaten by a tiger probably isn't the thing our brain wants to spend the energy on. So it will shut down conscious areas of the brain and get our brain into that unconscious or subconscious defensiveness that's going to keep us alive. And that was fear, threat, danger, shutting down the corpus callosum. Okay, so in relation to the corpus callosum. And hold. Beautiful. Now, one of the main things that shuts down the corpus callosum is trust and trust issues. Now, that can be self-trust, that can be trust with, parents, friends. But anyway, so trust and trust issues. And hold. And like David said, school isn't easy these days. So if you've got trust issues with your teacher because they're picking on you more than other kids, or it's feeling like that's happening, that can be a really big thing. Schools can just really create some big problems for a lot of kids. Yeah, so with trust and trust issues, that's switching down his pleasure reward centers in the brain. So it's making harder for Jack to just enjoy things.
Be interesting for them to look at what things produce serotonin, whether it's exercise or,
yeah,
do you know what I mean, like being in nature or particular things?
Yeah.
Because there must be, it's easy to find stuff like that online.
Yeah, and there's got to be something that, would be enjoyable.
Yeah, for someone their age.
Yeah, trust and trust issues.
It's hard to get any kid to do,
Hold.
the sort of things adults do, yoga.
So now I'm checking the anterior commissure. Hold. So that's the problem-solving area of the brain. And again, these areas can get shut down by the hormones when we start getting into that hormonal, preteen teenager area. So, and because there's, as you know, there's so many environmental toxins and stuff that can really affect the way our hormones develop in our body as well. So things like, there's a lot of endocrine disruptors. And once again, we can't get away from them because we're breathing them in. Everything from pesticides to plastics to, lots of things, glyphosate, there's so many. So all we can do is the best we can do. Okay, so in relation to the anterior commissure, again, that was the pleasure reward centers being switched off in relation to problem solving. Brain just doesn't want to do it. And hold. Beautiful. Now, the main thing that shuts down anterior commissure is sadness, despondency, depression. So when we're just not getting that zippity-doo-dah out of life so that we're enjoying things. And quite often, when we get there and we do something, it's all okay, So a lot of people, it feels like, oh my gosh, it's too hard to get out of the chair, to get into the car, to go and do something. But once we're there, it's okay. When this area is really shut down, it's harder. It's harder to be motivated, and it's harder to actually enjoy ourselves once we're doing something. So sadness, despondency, depression. And hold. Yeah, that's linked in with an old pain and punishment circuit. I say old, but is it current? Is it old? Okay. 11 to 10 to 9 to 8 to 7 to 6 to 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. Yeah, right, 1 to 2 years old. Okay, sadness, despondency, depression. And hold. Beautiful. So let's check the connection between the left and the right amygdala. Hold out for me. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Good. Let's check the hippocampus. So left to right hippocampus. There we go. Okay.
Memory.
So the hippocampus is a major memory center in the brain, and when we've got chronic stress, our hippocampus can shrink. So it will, because it takes a back seat. So it's like when we're under stress and we're walking down the street and we see someone who we know and we can't remember their name. That's because our hippocampus isn't firing. We don't have good connections from the left to right sides of the brain. But the longer we're under stress, the more shrunken the hippocampus gets. Now, if it's only a little bit of stress, you walk up the street after having said, "Hey, sweetie, how are you?" And next thing you go, darn, their name was Rhonda. Of course it was Rhonda. I've known her 20 years. So the brain can just shut down connections to the memory centers quickly, but they can come back quickly, or they can be chronically not hydrated. And again, getting that water in, I know always thirsty can be a bit of a sign of blood sugar levels, which of course can lead to the sugar cravings and things like that. None of that helps that brain integration.
A little bit of Celtic sea salt when you drink the water.
Yeah, right. Some Celtic sea salt every time you're having the water is a really good idea.
Helps the water get into the tissues.
And hold. Now, the main thing that shuts down the hippocampus is fear of failure. So let's check fear of failure, and being 11. So let's just check feeling like a nincompoop, feeling like an idiot. Because how do we feel at school sometimes when stuff is going on? So that sort of thing can be quite big for teenagers. And hold out. That didn't work. That didn't work. Yeah, so the amygdala pattern there is escape, submission, freeze. So rather than wanting to feel silly, the brain wants to run away. Which of course is a normal response. No one wants to feel silly and like a failure.
It's hard when you're a little kid because you don't really know what's going on at all.
Yeah, that's right.
With a lot of things, it's like all the adults are there and you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
How does this work? Is this true?
And hold out. Beautiful. Okay. So the other thing that can shut down the hippocampus is fear of success, which seems like a really weird thing. But at school, how often is someone really clever but they have to do extra work? Or they're really clever but they still get picked on, or they're really... Anyway, so fear of success, which means doing really well, can be another weird thing that shuts down our memory centers. So fear of success. And hold. Yeah, right, that too, goodness me. No wonder there's so much stress there. And obviously the funny thing about our brain is that we just do what's normal. So if our brain goes into anxiety around seeing other people or going to school or something, that's just our normal state. So sometimes we don't even know what it would be like to feel something different just because we've been... our brain has brainwashed us into thinking that this is normal and there's no other solutions. So, in relation to fear of success. And again, hold. Beautiful. Okay, so more brain integration. Yep, still something else. So CC, trust AC, dispensing, amygdala, A, B, C. Oh, okay, so we need to continue with the hippocampus. But particularly the fourth hippocampal circuit is to do with lack of motivation due to internal negativity. And hold.
That was not a hold.
That was not a hold. So that's, because and again, with a lack of serotonin and too much noradrenaline and the acetylcholine, all of those hormones that showed up in the reticular activating system before, there's some really nice herbs and nutrients that help to balance these out. And even with the blood sugar stuff, sometimes, like David said, the Celtic sea salt every time we have water is, and good putting it on the tongue, it takes a little while to get used to it. Because, again,
just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Don't want to oversalt yourself.
No, you can't oversalt yourself with Celtic sea salt. The worst thing that'll happen is you'll get a bit of swelling, and then you go, oh, I haven't drank enough water. So
it's got 86 minerals.
Yeah, that's right. So because it's got so many minerals, it's helping to remineralizing.
Whereas normal salt is just sodium and chloride.
And
basically.
and we need those minerals to help to balance our blood sugar.
The bones and
Okay, let's recheck that. So that was in relation to lack of motivation due to internal negativity. And hold. Beautiful. Oh, okay. There's a couple of brain integration areas that are showing up now. So I'll do them all, even though only a couple have showed up. So the first one is called brokers. So brokers area is the words that come out of our mouth. It's the way we speak. So let's have a look. Brokers to brokers. And hold. That one's okay. The next one is Wernicke's. And Wernicke's, hold, is not locking. That one is the thoughts behind the words. So again, you know, when we are at home, when we're at school, we're constantly recheck. Well, sometimes we don't either. But as a general rule, human beings are designed to think before we speak. But sometimes our filters are down. Sometimes we say stuff we shouldn't say. Sometimes we can't get the words out because we're thinking so much about what we want to say, and we know it, you know, isn't what we really should be doing. So it's when this one's out, there's something going on. The thought process behind the words is taking too much energy. It's exhausting the nervous system, and it's switching off the pleasure reward centers. So when speaking is exhausting the nervous system, what are we going to do? We're going to go hide away again. So we'll do something that requires less words and less communication with humans. And again, hold out. Beautiful. Now the next one is the auditory integration points. These ones are really important. Hold. Yeah, they're not locking. So the auditory integration points are to do with everything we're hearing, the way that we're mulling it over in our minds, the words we're speaking to ourselves as well. So when we are in a negative space, we can have up to 120,000 thoughts per day. And if we're in a negative space, a good 80-90% of them can be negative. So we're not even aware of this internal chatter a lot of the time that we have going on in our brains. But if we don't have good levels of serotonin and dopamine and things like that in the background, then even if we have a happy, healthy day, our brain is more likely to store it somewhere stressful in the brain rather than in the happy, healthy part of the brain. Not a lot of fun. So let's go to auditory integration points. Hold out. That's better. And then the last one of these little guys is rip and lip. So rip and lip. Hold. Well, it wasn't too bad, but it's something. So rip and lip are left and right integrative points. So that means it's taking in all of the visual and auditory stimuli from the environment. It's also about accessing short and long-term memories about visual and auditory stimuli. So it's how the brain takes it in, where the brain chooses to store it. It's about accessing those memories again. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in the left integrative point and the right integrative point. And again, the pleasure reward centers are being switched off in relation to having that all function nicely. And hold. Beautiful. Okay, so now let's get all of the left ones. We'll just finish off with this. So let's see if all the left hold are communicating, which they are. Let's check all the righties. Hold, don't want to get political. There's no lefties and righties in this room. Everyone's perfect. So now I'm going to check all left and right. So all the brokers, Wernicke's, auditory integration points, as well as rip and lip, all together, and see if they're all communicating. And hold. Okay, so let's balance that one. So all the lefties were talking to each other, all the righties were talking to each other, but when we get all 8 online, They're not communicating from the right hemisphere to the left hemisphere of the brain. And again, there's a pain punishment circuit involved there. And hold. Okay.
Holding now.
Holding well. Okay. Now I just want to quickly make sure all the organs. So in relation to the organs, because of the thirst and the sugar cravings and all that sort of thing. So I just want to see if there's any organs we need to pick up. The meridian energy off. Interesting. So the first organ system to show up is the circulation of the sexual organs, which is to do with its abdominal energy, but it's also all those hormones that start going helter-kelter when we're on that edge of teenage years. So the testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, all of that sort of fun stuff. And boys always have better self-esteem, self-worth when they've got good testosterone levels, and a lot of things are blocking our testosterone these days. Hold out for me. Yeah.
Actually, plastics
and hold it. Yeah, so again, all the plastics and glyphosates, and there's some nice herbs that help with that too. So things like horny goatweed and tribulus, and zinc is really important. So there's quite a few things that are really powerful for picking up men's and boys' testosterone.
Testosterone and the serotonin might be related.
Yeah, well, if because there's a huge connection between depression and low testosterone in boys and men, huge link. And because people don't get tested for testosterone until they're in their 50s and 60s with things like erectile dysfunction, that's the first time they've ever had it checked, or they start having prostate issues, they get it checked. So there's no history. By the way, Belinda, I can run scans. I'll sort of send you a thing on that as well, if that's been... Actually, anyway, I'll talk to you about a 6-day pass so that you could run some scans as well. So, let's have a look. Where else do we need to go? So that was circ sex. And liver, something in the liver. Let's have a look. So there's 4 liver tests I do. Hold on, going back. Perfect. Hold up, I'm going down. Hold up. Yeah, that's good. Hold, I'm going back. Hold up, I'm going down. So they're all locking, so it might actually be an over facilitation of the liver, and the liver overworking is often, internalized liver energy is about depression. Over exertion of the liver tends to be anger. Anyway, I'll run the meridian a few times and just see if we can balance that alarm point. So the liver meridian runs from the big toe to just underneath the breast tissue area, or the chest tissue area. So again, I'll just see whether or not that balanced out the alarm points. Yeah, okay, it did. Okay, lovely. Okay, is there anything more we need to do for Jack for this circuit? Are we leaving anything unbalanced, imbalanced, unclear? Beautiful, okay. So we'll just close that circuit off. This is a new program for this body now and in the future. The old program for this body is no longer necessary now in the future. Hallelujah and amen.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Now we better make David back to David again. I am now 100% David.
I'm 100% David.
I enjoy being 100% David.
Yeah, I enjoy being David.
And hold together. Hold together. Hold out. Beautiful. Good stuff. Okay. I'll upload this and get it to you this afternoon. Okay, take care.
Good luck.
Thank you.